By the grace of Shambhu, Lord Shiva, a blessed idea inspired the mind of Tulsidasa, which made him the author of Ramacharitamanasa. The author has polished his composition to the best of his intellect. Yet listen to it with a sympathetic mind, O noble souls, and correct it. A refined sattvika intellect is the catchment area. The heart is the fathomless depression. The Vedas and Puranas constitute the ocean, while holy men represent the clouds which rain down pure, sweet, agreeable, and blessed water in the form of Sri Rama's excellent glory. Pastimes of a personal God that such holy men narrate in extenso are the transparency of this water, which cleanses all impurity, while the loving devotion, which defies all description, represents its sweetness and coolness. This water is beneficial for the paddy crop in the form of virtuous deeds. It is life itself to the devotees of Sri Rama. The same holy water, when it dropped on the soil of the intellect, flowed with a volume through the beautiful channel of the ears and collecting in the lovely spot called the heart, came to be stationary. Having remained there for a long time, it became clear, agreeable, cool, and refreshing. Shambho Prasada Sumati Hiya Hulasi Ramacharitamana Kabi Tulasi Karai Manoharamati Anuhari Sujana Suchita Sunilehu Sudhari Sumati Bhumi Thala Hridaya Agadu Beda Purana Udhadhi Gana Sadhu Parasahirama Sujasa Barabari Madhura Manohara Mangalakari Lila Saguna Jokahahi Bakhani Soi Svachata Karimalahani Prema Bhagati Jo Bharani Na Jai Soi Madhurata Susita Latai Sojala Sukrata Salihita Hoi Rama Bhagata Jana Jivana Soi Medha Manigata Sojala Pavana Sakili Shravana Maga Kilu Suhavana Bariu Sumanasa Sutala Tirana Sukhada Sita Ruchi Charu Chirana. The four most beautiful and excellent dialogues, viz. Those between Busundi and Garuda, 2. Shiva and Parvati, 3. Yajnavalkya and Bharadvaja, and 4. Between Tulasi Dasa and other saints. that have been cleverly woven into this narrative are the four lovely ghatas of this holy and charming lake. Suti samdara sambada barabirache buddhi bichari Teyehi pavana subhaga sarakata manoharachari. The seven books are the seven beautiful flights of steps which the soul delights to look upon with the eyes of wisdom. The unqualified and unbounded greatness of Sri Rama, which will be presently discussed, represents the unfathomable depth of this holy water. The glory of Sri Rama and Sita constitutes the nectarine water. The similes represent the soul-ravishing sport of its wavelets. The beautiful chowpais represent the thick growth of lotus plants. The various poetic devices constitute the lovely shells that yield beautiful pearls. The other meters, viz. Chandas, Suratas, and Dohas, are the cluster of charming many-colored lotuses. The incomparable sense, the beautiful ideas, and the elegant expression represent the pollen, honey, and fragrance of those flowers respectively. The virtuous acts mentioned therein are the charming swarms of bees. The references to spiritual enlightenment, dispassion, and reason represent the swan. The implications and involutions and the various excellences and styles of poetry are the lovely fishes and of various kinds. The four ends of human existence, viz., worldly riches, religious merit, enjoyment, and liberation. The reasoned exposition of jnana, knowledge, of God in his absolute formless aspect, and vijnana, knowledge of knowledge of qualified divinity, both with and without form. The nine sentiments of poetry. Footnote. The nine sentiments of poetry are 1. Sringara, the erotic sentiment or the sentiment of love. 2. Hasya, the humorous sentiment. 3. Karuna, the pathetic sentiment. 4. Vira, the heroic sentiment. 5. Rodra, the sentiment of wrath or fury. 6. Bhayanaka, the sentiment of terror. 7. Bibhasta, Bibhatsa, the sentiment of disgust. 8. Santa, the sentiment of quietism. And 9. Abhuta, the marvelous sentiment. Back to the text. And the reference to japa, the muttering of mystic formulae, austerity, yoga, contemplative union with God, and detachment from the world, all these represent the charming aquatic creatures of this lake. eulogies on virtuous men, pious souls, and the name of God. These correspond to water birds of various kinds. The assemblages of saints referred to herein are the mango groves hemming the lake on all sides, and piety has been likened to the vernal season. The exposition of the various types of devotion and the references to forbearance, compassion, and sense control represent the canopies of creepers. Even so, mind control, the five yamas, or forms of self-resistance, viz., non-violence, truthfulness, non-thieving, continence, and non-acquisition of property. The five niyamas, or religious vows, viz., those of external and internal purity, contentment, austerity, study of sacred books or repetition of the divine name, and self-surrender to God, are the blossoms of these creepers. Spiritual enlightenment is their fruit, and loving devotion to the feet of Sri Hari constitutes the sap of this fruit, and spiritual enlightenment, so declare the Vedas. The various other episodes forming part of this narrative are the birds of different colors, such as the parrot and the cuckoo. Sapta prabamda subhaga sopana Jnana nayana nirakata mana Raghupati mahima aguna abhada Paranabha soi barabari agada Ramasya jasa silila sudha sama Upama pichi balasa manorama Purani sagana charu chopai Joguti mamjo manisipa suhai Chamda sorata sumdara doha Soi bhaguramga kamala kura soha Arata anupa subhava subhasa Soi paragamakaramda subhasa Sukrata Punja Mamjula Alimala Yana Biraja Pichara Marala Dhoni Areba Kabita Guni Jati Mina Manoharate Babhubhati Arata dharma kamadikachari Kahabhagyana vigyana bichari Navarasa japatapa yoga biraja Te sabha jala chara charutaraja Sukriti sadhu nama guna jnana te bichitra jalabihaga samana samtasa bhakchahudisi avarai Shraddha ritu basamta samagai Bhagati nirupana bibida bidhana Chamadaya damalata bidhana Samajama niyama pula palagyana Haribhadarati rasabeda bhikhana Auro kata anika prasanga Te sukha pika bahubarana bihanga The thrill of joy that one experiences while listening to this narrative represents the flower gardens, orchards, and groves, and the delight one feels in the sporting of birds, while a noble mind is the gardener who waters the garden, etc., with the moisture of love through the charming jars of eyes. Pulaka bhatika bhagavana sukha subihanga biharu Mali sumana se sane hajala sijatalo chana charu